Hi, I'm Femi OK and you're in the stream. Today, would Jesus have tweeted? We ask media-savvy nuns how social media is helping them spread their faith and smash stereotypes about the Catholic sisterhood. So our digital producer Malika Bilal, she has a little something for you. What do you have for us?
I do. I've been waiting to share this. I have pictures online.
Nice.
This was shared not too long ago. Jack tweets, I have discovered the nuns of Twitter, and I'm delighted. And he shows a nun with some pretty cool sunglasses.
Very nice. And on my laptop, this is Sister Rosemary Nurumbi from northern Uganda in Gulu. And this is not an image that I would normally associate with a nun, but this is what our program is about, right,
Can't wait to see that.
Yes, so if people want to join in the conversation, talk to nuns.
Yes, you can talk to all of us. Use hashtag AJStream with your questions and your comments.
Now, Twitter isn't the only way that you can actually reach out to us. You can also check us out on Instagram as well. We also have, if you look on my laptop, a new way of seeing some of the content that's coming up on the stream. So scroll down, look for the little arrow here, and you'll also see some of our videos that we're also making for you to keep up to date with AJ Stream.
Hi, my name is Rabbi Cleel Rose. I'm the spiritual leader of Beth Shalom Synagogue in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and I'm in the stream.
Now, a nun's habit can make it difficult for outsiders to see the sisters as ordinary women, but now more than ever, nuns are revealing more of their personalities and passions beyond the Bible online. Media-savvy nuns are gaining thousands of followers on Twitter, on Facebook and Instagram, talking not just about God, but about movies, sport and music. Even Pope Francis is tweeting in 9 languages with more than 7 million Twitter followers. He's the most social media savvy pontiff the world has ever seen. But what happens when the personal interests and opinions of the nuns, and the Pope for that matter, test the Vatican's traditional values? Today we ask how social networking is transforming how nuns focus on their faith and how the public focuses on them. So with us to help discuss this, we have Sister Simone Campbell. She's an executive director of the National Catholic Social Justice Lobby called Network. She's better known as one of the nuns on the bus, which we'll hear more about in a moment. In Gulu, Uganda, Sister Rosemary Nurumbi is a director of the St. Monica Girls Tailoring Centre and one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people this year. In London, Sister Anne Flanagan is a website editor for daughtersofstpaul.com, and she thinks she was probably the very first nun on Twitter. We get that story from her in a moment. And in Culver City, California, Sister Rose Piketty is a film critic and director of the Pauline Center for Media Studies. So sisters, welcome to the stream. It's wonderful to have you here. I'm going to start. It's great to have you here. I'm going to start with a little clip from the Stephen Colbert show. Now this clip, more than one of our sisters has actually been on this show. It tells you how big they are. So it's a satirical show. It's shown in the United States, and Sister Rosemary was on this show back in a couple of weeks ago, and she was talking about Bring Back Our Girls. That's that whole campaign with the children in northern Nigeria that have been abducted. So she was talking about why it is important, why people around the world should care about it. That's what Stephen Colbert said. Why should I care about this? This is happening in Nigeria. This is what Sister Rosemary said in response.
You cannot be sad because it is happening in Africa, which is part of the humanity. I would feel like jabbing you.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You, a nun, would punch me.
Oh, yeah. Wow, I would. I would jab you.
All right. All right. Am I allowed to punch you back?
No.
No?
No.
How is that fair?
Because I'm going to punch you and I will win.
Sister Rosemary, not just on media, but on social media as well. This has given us a whole different view and an outlook on what Catholic nuns look like, how they act like. Do you feel like you're a pioneer, Sister Rosemary?
I didn't even think in that way at all. Because for me, it's just being normal, being myself. And I think as a religious, as a nun or as a sister, I have to be who I am because I chose this life and really doesn't make me different completely. It has to make me be what I am in a better way. And if I am for the people, that's what I am for the people.
See.
I totally agree with that. I mean, that is so true, Sister Rosemary. That's my experience here in the United States too, because our vocation is all about being for the people and acting for mission, caring, having a heart big enough for everybody. And that's clearly what you were doing there. I loved it. It was great.
And everybody has to see Sister Rosemary's movie called Sowing Hope. That should be available soon. I hope on Netflix, but by DVD.
I think we've got some video of that, haven't we? Yes, there we go. Tell us about this film that you were saying that we should watch, Sister Anne.
Well, I just saw it yesterday. Sister Rosemary can probably speak to it better.
Sure.
But all I can tell you is I was amazed and inspired about what you can do from almost nothing, and how she's bringing hope to all these former girl soldiers. I am inspired beyond words.
And the reason you've actually seen it before the rest of us is because you're a film critic. Sister.
That's right.
Yes. Yes. Of course you are. How did that happen? How did you get to be a film critic?
It was really totally unexpected and not looked for. It just happened between I went to London to get my master's degree, just so you know, in education and media studies, and then I made my way to LA finally, and things just came together, and I got invited to start reviewing movies, and it's great. I feel humble and grateful and very blessed at the opportunity to mediate this popular culture form for everyone, through the eyes of faith, through the lens of Catholic social teaching, which I think is such a gift to the world.
So, Femi, we have one sister who is a film critic, one who has worked on a movie, and yet there is a sentiment online that this isn't what being a nun is. So we actually have a video comment from someone on our own team on the stream. This hits close to home for her. Have a listen to this. And Sister Anne, I'd like to know what you think after.
Nuns were responsible for my education from kindergarten through high school. And though I have the greatest respect for nuns, they scare me. In fact, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a nun just because they commanded instant respect, and as a little kid, I thought that was amazing. However, toward the end, they still scared me. I don't know. I highly doubt that nuns can be fun, and the fact that they can track you on social media now, scary.
So, Sister, she's not convinced that nuns can be fun. What would you tell her?
Oh my gosh. There's many things I suppose I could say. Some wouldn't maybe be the most appropriate.
Those are the ones we want you to say.
First, let me just say, Daughters of St. Paul never taught in schools. We're not a teaching community, so she can start with us. You know, we'll gradually introduce you to the rest of the sisterhood, but we don't have schools, so we're out of that league entirely.
So she could tweet you, Sister Anne, right?
She certainly can.
Yeah.
And I put tell her to check out my Twitter feed from today. I was loading it with stuff. I made a graphic showing our sisters from a Christmas concert. I'm in the Daughters of St. Paul choir as well, and we do a Christmas concert tour. And Sister Simone, if you know anybody who can get us a bus, we really need one. Anyway, I digress. So I took a picture of ours from one of our concerts and added, I said, what if on Italy's The Voice, you know, Sister Christina, she needs a nun backup choir. I know just the people for it. So just, you know, look on my Twitter feed for that.
Sure. There's a tweet here that I found. It's your very first tweet. @NunBlogger says, joining Twitter while ripping an Ave Maria to learn for a recording. Do you remember that first tweet?
Not at all.
Oh.
I know the Ave Maria by Archangel.
Thanks. Yes. So what was it about Twitter that appealed to you? Because you think you may have been the very first nun because you were such an early adopter.
Yeah. I read about it in the Wall Street Journal. You know, they have that wonderful technology feature that they do, and I was a lady who was a customer in our Chicago bookstore would save up her Wall Street Journals for me because we can't afford the subscription. And I would go every week and pick them up on my way to choir practice and devour the technology section. And it described this experimental micro blog called Twitter. And as I read about the description, 140 characters, that, you know, to have a message in that tiny amount of space, that requires a great deal of skill. I wonder if it would really work. let me go try out. But it was beta, so you had to sign up and then wait. So I had to wait like 20 minutes, and then I got my, come on in, you're live on Twitter beta. So that was kind of the story. That's my approach to social media. When something new comes out, I just want to explore it. And then for the sisters who would maybe come after me, for example, Sister Helena Burns, the sister with the funny eyeglasses that you showed.
Yeah, we showed her. Yes, yeah.
Well, I lived with her for almost 10 years, and I got her on Twitter. I said, Sister Helena, this is the medium for you. And now, of course, she has like 2,000 more followers than I do, but that's fine.
We're not competitive or anything.
I am like John the Baptist, and the one who's coming after me is greater than I. That is fine. In fact, it's kind of fun.
Well, Sister Simone, it is not all fun and games, of course, online. Now, we got this tweet from Susanna, and she brings up a little bit of controversy that we've seen other people tweet about. She says, Pope Francis is throwing nuns under the bus for sharing his own beliefs, and she's referencing, she links to a Guardian report that says that nuns are being censured here in the U.S. for not speaking out in the way that the church wants them to on same-sex marriage, on abortion.
Well, it's actually not speaking out for the way that some of our bishops want us to, but we are perfectly in keeping with Catholic social teaching. But what is the challenge is Pope Francis comes in the middle of this censure, where we in the United States got censured by the Vatican because they, as you reported, that they said that we were working too much with people in poverty. And actually what we're doing are exactly what Pope Francis is now doing. But the censure continues because it was already in process. And I say if Pope Francis can finish his reform of the Curia in Rome, we'll all be fine in the United States. We're being faithful to the gospel and using Twitter and social media to lift up the needs of people who are struggling in the United States. I mean, that's how I use it. I use it politically to lift up the stories of folks who are either unemployed or who are caring, struggling, working for minimum wage in our nation. It's shocking, the situation, but it's totally in keeping with our mission. It's quite like Sister Rosemary, doing what we're called to do. That's what it's about.
And there's also so much misconstrual of what's the communications between the Vatican office and this one organization of Sisters in America. It's one organization. It's not all the sisters. It's not even an umbrella organization that all sisters are members of.
That's true.
It's a significant organization, but it's only one of two representations of women religious in the United States that is receiving particular attention.
It represents
and again, it's very nuanced when you actually read the documents. They're quite nuanced, and the news reports are not. And I think it's very important, especially in something that's this delicate, that involves our mission, that where our mission touches the external expressions of our faith. Very important to go to the source documents and don't rest with the headlines, don't rest with the news reports, because they're completely inadequate. Read the actual documents. I was surprised at how nuanced they were.
So none of you sisters have got any reprimand for anything that you've done on social media or the media that you use? In terms of the Vatican looking down on you and saying, Sister Rosemary.
Okay, the Pope is on Twitter.
Yeah, well, he is actually. He is. So nobody's got their wrist slapped for that.
No, but
No, good.
No.
Okay, very good.
I think it's very, very positive. Attitude toward use of media.
I think it's really important to look at what Twitter is for and what Facebook is for, and how Facebook is so great at developing relationships and connections. It really nourishes community in a much broader sense than just the face-to-face. It's a real gift, and Twitter is so fabulous for sharing information and really dispersing good data that it serves mission. It's not a negative thing at all.
Good data, but good faith, Sister Rosemary?
You see, I love Twitter, and incidentally, I'm also on Instagram, but I have people with who I go on Instagram. When I'm talking to young people, I like to attract them, telling them that I'm on Instagram, you can follow me, and on Twitter, and I find a lot of them are following me on Instagram. So it all appeals to the different
What's your Instagram account, Sister Rosemary? I'm going to pull it up right now. Instagram?
Sister Rosemary.
Yeah, Sister Rosemary. All right, carry on talking. I'm just going to find it. Okay. All right. Very good.
It is Sister _ Rosemary.
Ah, all right. Continue. I will find this Instagram account.
Yeah.
Malika.
Well, picking up on something you said, Sister Simone, about deciding what Facebook is for, what Twitter is for, we actually heard from a member of our community who is a sister. This is Sister B, tweets in, I can unfollow or unfriend anyone I don't like on social media. In real life, in churches and work, I have to learn to deal with them. She goes on to say, thus, we have to examine what worshiping as a community in person, rather than virtually, can offer a member and promote that. Well, Sister Rose, as we all kind of think about that, I want to direct you to this next tweet because it's a little bit of criticism. Sadiq writes in about your film reviewing capabilities. He says, isn't there a better way of propagating your faith? Is this what you see yourself doing?
I don't see film reviewing as a way to propagate faith. I see it as a way to mediate faith and to look at film and look for God in film. You know, the cinema has always been interested in God and in seeking for truth and seeking for meaning. And okay, some of the films do it better than other films, for sure. But I think that it's an art form. And when it's an art form, when it really touches our humanity and tells stories of our humanity, as Sister Simone was saying, and Sister Rosemary's film, I think that that's when it reaches its best. And you know what the Second Vatican Council said? That what is truly human is truly of the gospel, and what is truly of the gospel is truly human. They do not contradict one another. And we can find that in film and in music and in other pop culture forms. And even on Facebook, when people are mad at you, you know, you were just saying about, somebody was just saying about unfriending and doing that. You know, I seldom unfriend anyone because I want to stay engaged. I have unfriended a few.
What did they do for you to unfriend
many.
them? What does somebody do to a sister to make you unfriend them?
Well, they scream at you in capital letters.
Wow.
They don't really engage in a conversation. They're more interested in winning some kind of a contest of words, or they're reacting rather than responding. And when that's when it becomes chronic and they're really not contributing to a, I think, healthy conversation, then I might unfriend them. Or if they say something that really goes against Catholic teaching,
right,
even when it's the teaching of charity, then I will unfriend them. But I usually let them know ahead of time.
Okay, so
because I want to create relationships and connections. I don't want to break them.
All right, so sisters, just going to take a little pause for 10 or 15 seconds because I want to play Sister Rose's film critique of The Wolf of Wall Street. I have seen that film. I could barely see this film, so I don't know how the sister did. But let's see what she made of it.
Leonardo DiCaprio is brilliant. The filmmaking is really superior. But at the end of the day, this is a story about a man who ruined the lives of so many people, including his own family, then went away to Club Fed for a few years after ratting out his friends. And now he's back and he's making money off of this movie, as are the filmmakers. What's wrong with this picture? It has no empathy, no sympathy for victims. Will I see this movie again? Not on your life.
Okay, maybe not for this weekend to watch that movie.
I tweeted that out a little bit earlier, and someone wrote back and said, does she watch R-rated movies? And I said, that's an R-rated movie, so clearly you do.
Wait a second. Let me explain. R-rated does not mean bad. R-rated is a system, it's a rating for guidance for parents. Some of the best movies are R-rated. And that's not a moral judgment. It's about suitability for children. And, you know, most people think that R-rated movies are not for nuns or babies. But that's not really what it's about.
Well, you know, we got a tweet here, Sister Simone, on trolls. So, of course, you're very prolific on Twitter, as we've already learned. Sister B says, trolls, there are truth seekers out there, and there's also others, and we can't control reaction. So what do you do about online trolls, for lack of a better word, or people who just don't agree with you and make that known?
Well, the thing in the United States, since I do politics in the United States, is that there's room for everyone. The idea is we are a diverse society, and in our diverse society, everyone's opinion needs to be expressed. So I try to be respectful of it, and much as Sister Rose said, to welcome honest conversation and to engage it. if it gets hostile or not really interested in exploration or curiosity, I'm likely to end the conversation there. But the important part is that we've got to find a way as a society in this small global world to account for diversity and to make room for diversity. And we Catholic sisters are the perfect ones to model that, because we try to embody Jesus' call to love everyone, even the folks I'd like to vote off the island. It just won't work. We've got to make room for everyone. So that's our mission.
What's really interesting is that this Sunday is the Church's observance of World Communications Day, and the theme that Pope Francis gives us for this observance is communications at the service of an authentic culture of encounter. And that's, you know, when you have diverse perspectives on things, that's when an encounter is possible. And the Holy Father is telling us on World Communications Day to consider the ability of communications technology, and especially the social media, for actually facilitating what he calls a genuine encounter. And this whole theme of encounter, if you read the writings of Cardinal Bergoglio, it's a huge theme of his. I actually put it in a book I wrote about Pope Francis, this theme of encounter, and it's Sunday's topic for discussion.
And very quickly, Sister Simone, just very quickly, because we're almost at the end of the program, we mentioned nuns on the bus. So for people who are not aware of this story, can you tell it to us in a nutshell? In a nutshell, in 2012, we had a lot of media spotlight on us, partially because of the censure, partially because of our work on the federal budget. And we said, how do we use this moment for mission? And it was a gift of the Spirit. It was a gift that came from prayer, was to go on the road, on a bus, pushing back against the federal budget that was proposed and lifting up the workers of Catholic sisters. Right. It was like electricity. It was Pentecost. It was amazing. And what happened is that it revealed Catholic sisters in the United States in a way that is seen by people all over the world to do the good work, like Sister Rosemary, like all of us who care so much for lifting up those at the margins of our society. That's what we did. It was magic. I'm really curious, sisters, about the impact. I asked you at the beginning, do you feel like you're pioneers? And you said, no, we're just doing our work. But the impact that you're having, do you feel that you're changing the public perspective? Or what is it that you're doing, Sister Anne?
It's not really about changing the public perspective or changing our image or anything at all about us. Right. It's about meeting people. That's all I can imagine it to be. It's not about us at all. What's the impact you want to have, Sister Rosemary, on the people who are following you on Instagram, on Twitter, on your website, watching the movie that you're about to, the documentary that's coming out about your work? What's the impact you want to have?
You know, I like the idea of passing messages or letting people understand certain things which occurred, which happened through this film. And as Sister was commenting about film, I think the greatest message you can pass to people is using film. And in my case, the documentary film which has just come out, I think it's very, very important for people to view it because, one, that film is not about me, although it projects a lot of things about me, my childhood, my growth, and so forth. Okay. But the whole message in that film is about the young women who actually got up from their suffering, from their pain, and now living.
Sister Rosemary, give us the name of that film so people watching make a mental note of it.
Hope.
Sowing Hope. Beautiful.
S-E-W-I-N-G.
Sowing
because
Hope.
We are using the analogy of a needle. Say, a needle can mend any broken piece. Right. And here the film is talking about young women whose lives was broken, and now we are mending again.
Wonderful. Yeah. All right, sisters. Oh my goodness, they are so media savvy. Wow. Have you got enough of them? I'm sure you haven't. Head across to the post show at stream.aljazeera.com. That is where I will be taking them, and Malika Bilal, and also the online community. Let me tell you about our next show. We turn to Canada, where stories of international workers being abused and used as cheap labour have surfaced. So we'll be investigating that story on Monday. But right now, I'm going to leave you with a little bit of a treat. It's the Italian voice and Sister Cristina Succia, and she is singing in a talent competition. Enjoy. Hello again, this is the Stream's online post show. We're talking with a group of media-savvy nuns about how they're spreading the good word online and off. So Sister Rosemary, she held up her book. It's only fair for me to ask Sister Anne, was there anything you wanted to share with our global audience before we moved on with the conversation? Did you have anything to plug?
I do. I have a book, an ebook I put out. It's
of course you do.
5 Keys to Understanding Pope Francis, released by Pauline Books and Media. It's just a quick introduction to basically the principles that are behind everything we are watching Pope Francis do and say. And of course, over the weekend in the Holy Land, we saw a lot of that. So 5 Keys to Understanding Pope Francis.
Very good. I saw Sister Rose getting something off her bookshelf. What was that you were getting off your bookshelf, Sister Rose?
Well, if we're going to plug, this is just one of the books that I've written called Our Media World. And it's about media education and media literacy for parents and religious educators, so they can help their children and young people and themselves to become critical thinkers about media and to question the media.
Sister Simone,
and
you're always lobbying. You must have something to talk about.
I have a new book out, published by Harper One, and it's called A Nun on the Bus, and it's the story of the bus trip actually, and our policies caring for the least in our country. So many people globally don't realize how many people struggle in the United States in economic poverty, and so it lifts up that story. So I invite folks to look at that.
Wow. See, I don't mind plugging nuns' books. Very happy to do that.
Can I plug one more thing?
Yes.
It's a website called the Global Sisters Report, and it's really it's put out by the National Catholic Reporter is the group behind it, and the Hilton Foundation, and it's about telling the stories of sisters around the world and enabling sisters to tell their stories. It's a wonderful website. It's the Global Sisters Report. There you go. And they're also on Facebook and Twitter.
Very nice. Now back to our conversation after that little ad break.
Well, there are a lot of people online who have questions, and one is in the form of a video comment. So I'd like all of our guests to have a listen to this from Mary Kelly.
Hi, my name is Mary Kelly. I'm from the Bronx, New York, and my question is, what's your goal with your increased use of social media? Is it a tool for social activism, or is it more about evangelization, or some kind of balance between the two, and how do you strike that balance?
So Sister Simone, she asked about a balance, but before you answer that, we're also getting a lot of tweets that look a little something like this. Sadiq wrote in not too long ago, they could not possibly concentrate on their faith while entertaining themselves with chats. What's your pushback to that?
Oh, my glory.
I like the look on your face.
Faith is at the heart of all that we do, and it is not something separate. And so the way I use social media is for public policy with regards to federal policy and using Catholic social teaching, the values of our faith, the heart of our faith, to bring it to shape proper policies that looks out for the common good. It's at the very heart of what we do. So any conversation I have, any lobby visit on Capitol Hill, last week I met with Congressman Paul Ryan to talk about our shared faith, but our diverse political perspectives about what our faith calls for, what Pope Francis is calling for. So it's at the heart of what I do, but it's politics is what I do.
And Sister Anne, it's slightly different for you because all of the nuns that with you, they're communication nuns. I mean, that's what they use. Yeah.
We were founded to use media to spread the gospel. We were founded for this in 1915, when media were pretty limited. So we really do have more of an evangelizing focus with what we're doing. But I see social media as kind of the nexus between the encounter and the going out. So it's a form of going out, which is what Pope Francis is telling us to do, is that go out beyond the confines of your own situation to encounter the other person and enter into a genuine conversation with them. These new technologies give us a means of doing that and meeting people I would never have the chance to meet. You know, no matter how long I lived in a major city of the world, I'm meeting people right now from all over the world, so many walks of life, and we're able to enter into a communion that is explicit only for a moment, but can continue, can grow, can develop, who knows to what extent. So and then, you know, the connection to prayer, that's so much there. and you're showing my Facebook page, you know, the beautiful images that lead you to pray, the requests for prayers. You know, I don't just pass those on.
That's one of the most important things about Facebook and Twitter to me. I think Facebook is the greatest prayer group in the world, and I feel honored to be part of people's prayer life and to pray for their intentions. And when I put a prayer intention up there, I get so many people, even people who disagree with me about GMOs and about guns, the gun lobby and things like that. They will all of a sudden put aside their differences and they will say, tell me what you want me to pray for. How wonderful is that? How much good that sends out to the world.
Malika.
Well, you know, I mentioned that we were getting questions, so here's one that is on the minds of a few of us, including mine. I brought this up during our meeting on this show. Hassan tweets in, do they have nun recruitment sites these days? And so what caught our eye is this Facebook page. This is Imagine Sisters. It's a web movement, it says, that aims to inspire the imaginations of young women. So Sister Simone, are you actually reaching out to young women, and do you see people wanting to become nuns?
In my community, I'm a sister of social service. We were founded in 1923. We do social service of all kinds. And in my community, yes, we have women who are interested. We have some members in initial formation who want to combine this idea of service and prayer and follow the gospel, follow Jesus in the gospel. So it is happening, but it happens more in that relationship one-on-one. People kind of dabble on the edges, see who you are, check out your Facebook page, but then they need a physical connection to know what's real.
Right. As in all things social media, that physical connection is really, really important.
Absolutely.
I told the sisters earlier, the less you hear from me, the more I hear from you, the better the show is going to be. It's been a pretty amazing show. It's been so great to have you. Sister Simone, Sister Rose, Sister Anne, Sister Rosemary. We will be looking out for you online, and we're looking forward to having that internet connection, that digital connection, and hopefully we'll make a physical connection at some point in the future. Thank you very much indeed. So wrapping up this part of the show, but it just leaves time for Malika to tell us what else she's following for the stream.
We start in Spain, where demonstrators and police are clashing over the demolition of a building used to house squatters. The clashes have been ongoing since residents of the Can Vies Center in Barcelona were evicted Monday. Nearly 30 people have reportedly been arrested and more than a dozen injured. Well, activists are circulating this picture online to call for a mass protest Friday against the eviction. Next, we head to India, where some are questioning the qualifications of the new minister in charge of education. The controversy began when Congress Party leader Ajay Maken tweeted that Smriti Irani hadn't graduated university. With some point to discrepancies in forms reportedly filed by Irani. One said Irani received her diploma, while the other says she only completed her first year. Irani told Indian Express today, "People should judge me by my work." Well, online, many debated her qualifications, with some expressing support. Tanu writes, "Education doesn't guarantee competency. Give Irani a chance." Now, finally, Syrian children are putting a different spin on the popular Pharrell Williams Happy video that's gone viral. Have a look at this. It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Raising awareness for Syria's 2.4 million refugee children, the video features kids from refugee camps in Jordan. Well, producers from Beats, Rhymes, and Relief are encouraging people to support education and mental health programs that help Syria's displaced. Those are some of the stories we're following today. Now, if you have a story idea, tweet us with hashtag AJStream. Femi?
Thank you very much, Malika. Just have time to tell you about our program on Monday. On Monday, we'll be heading to Canada, where stories of international workers being abused and used as cheap labor have surfaced. We'll take a look at the Temporary Foreign Workers Program and why the Canadian government is scrambling to reform it. Until then, see you online. Thanks for watching.